Welcome everyone to my channel. It's Katie Joy from Without a Crystal Ball. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Sunday. We have a surprise tonight because the former nanny of Amber Portwood reached out to me today and wanted to talk about her experience working in Amber's home and sort of shed some light about Andrew and Amber's relationship and all the stuff in between. So I am going to welcome Brianna to my channel. She is all the way in Indianapolis, right? Is that where you are?
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to my channel, Brianna.
Hi.
Hi. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. If you're not new to my channel, welcome back. If you are members, thank you so much for joining me. We have put slow mode on for the chat as I expect this might get big. And if you guys have questions that you want answered at the end, make sure that you utilize the super chat feature so we don't miss them. If there are questions that you want to ask Brianna directly. So we're just going to sort of start from the beginning, Brianna. Tell me why you reached out to me, because I didn't reach out to you.
Yeah, so I've been seeing, since all this happened, obviously since I was her nanny, I know everything that's been going on, and just seeing people, on her side, it's okay for, everyone to have supporters, but, people talking about how, they think Andrew just provokes her, and this is all him. It would just frustrate me because Andrew was really, a good guy, and I was there to experience all of this, so I kind of wanted to just come out here and, defend him.
Okay. So you're saying because people think that Andrew provokes, or her supporters say that Andrew was provoking her, and you say that's not the truth?
Yeah.
So tell me more about that.
Basically, when I was there, there were more days than not that she would just get angry for, little things for no reason, and Andrew always, was there, trying to understand things, and he would just kind of take it, because I feel like he knew, if he stood up for himself, it would just make her more mad. Every time they would fight, he'd always leave. It could be, 3 in the morning to go, get her flowers and food and bring it back to the house, and, I feel like personally from what I saw, he was always just trying to keep situations calm and not let them escalate. He was always there to support her and make her feel better even though she was completely in the wrong.
So she would instigate it for no reason?
Yeah, little things would happen. They were talking about something and he wasn't cussing at her, but he threw a cuss word in there and she freaked out. She's don't cuss at me, using every word in the book, cussing at him, but he couldn't do it, and it just got to this big thing. I was wow, all right.
So you started working, you said, with her in October of 2018 when James was about 5 months old. So how did you find this job? Did you know Amber, or did you answer it
was on the app care.com.
Okay. So you found them through care.com?
Yeah. And when I got there, I didn't know who Andrew was at all. And I knew Amber, but she came down and said hi, and I went back upstairs, and I was she looks so familiar. And then, I kind of put the pieces together and figured it out. And she didn't really say anything to me about who she was until, a couple weeks later. And she was I'm sure you know who I am by now. And I was yeah, I kind of figured it out. And she just, from there on, everything was normal.
So you didn't know she was on, do you not watch the show, Teen Mom?
I do, but it took me a second to put together who she was because I haven't seen it since I was when it first came out.
Sure. And so you're hired, and then she tells you that she's on MTV, and I'm assuming you're there at different times when they're filming?
Yeah, I've been there a lot when they were filming. At first, she just had me stay upstairs, and then towards, the end, I would be there, but they didn't really film with me. There was, one episode I was on. But, yeah, I was there a lot when they would film, and I would go travel with them on trips when they would film.
Okay. So when you started, what was the expectation for what you were going to be doing?
So I was there Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Thursdays I would stay overnight, so I'd get there at 9 a.m. and I'd leave the next morning. Basically, it was, get James up, give him a bath, feed him breakfast, play with him. When I first started watching him, he was little, he didn't play. I would just basically, put him to sleep, hang out with him, basically. And when he got older, it was, starting to teach him, I helped him like walk for the first time. I took
Aw.
him to his first haircut. I would take him out to do stuff, go to the park, go to the pool, basically just to take care of him.
And you were there from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.?
Yeah, so I would get him up in the morning. Sometimes he'd already be up, and then usually I'd put him to bed. Sometimes Andrew would come and get him before I left, like a little early, so he could hang out with him before he went to bed.
And you said before this you'd nannied for other...
Go ahead, sorry.
How many different families did you nanny for before you started working for Amber?
I've nannied a lot, like, throughout my whole life, but, like, for, like, an extended period of time, I nannied for 2 other families.
Okay. And were the families that you nannied for before anything like your experience with what you had at Andrew and Amber's house?
No, not really, not at all. It was completely different.
What was the biggest difference?
Well, the main one is, like, when I watched James, like, I would never see Amber. Like, I probably saw her once, twice a week, sometimes, like, not at all. And, like, other families, like, I would meet the families, like, they'd be there when I got there, they'd get home, take the kids, like, I wouldn't, like, it was more of, like, I'd watch the kids while the parents at work, make sure they don't get into trouble, instead of, like, I felt like with James, I was more of, like, raising him with Andrew.
Oh, so you're saying Amber was not very involved?
No, I would see her. She would be in her room 90% of the time. And sometimes she'd come downstairs and see James for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes. Like, it just differed. And when she was around him, a lot of it she spent like talking to me, not really interacting with James. Sometimes she would be playing with James, but usually when I was there, she was in her bed, or the one time I really would see her leave, and since she was going to like doctor's appointments and stuff.
So she's not around her son. So you're waking James up, and then you're putting him to bed?
Yeah, sometimes it's Andrew, like, he'll be already up with Andrew, and, like, Andrew, like I said, will take him before I would leave so he could, like, spend time with him before he went to bed.
Yeah.
But if Andrew was busy, like, because he was busy a lot, he was the one doing all the cleaning, like, he took care of the house, he took care of Amber, he took care of the dog. So, like, if he wasn't busy, like, he would be the one to do it. I would leave early, and he would put James to bed.
So he's, like, the house man.
Yeah, pretty much.
And he was doing, I think, the stock market, right?
Yeah, he did that a lot.
And then doing errands and taking care of Amber.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doing the grocery shopping, like, running to the bank, doing everything.
So how involved in James's life during the time that you were there would you say Amber was?
Not really much at all. Like, she would come downstairs or, like, up in his room when I was there and just, like, kind of talk to me, ask how James is doing, and she'd, like, give him a hug and try to play with him for a little bit. But, like I said, there were days, like, I wouldn't see her at all. I'd get there at 9 and leave at 9, and, like, she wouldn't come see James, like, at all. That would happen very often.
So there were entire days when you were there, during his entire waking day, she would never even interact with him?
Yeah.
Did you ever ask her, like, why?
No, because, like, like I said, she gets provoked very easily, and I, like, kind of try to stay away from asking her questions like that to upset her. Like, even when I wouldn't see her, there'd be days, like I said, I wouldn't see her, and, like, I'd be in the house, like, anxious myself just knowing she was there, because she would either yell at Andrew or, like, just be in a bad mood at, like, something that happened, and it would just give me anxiety. Like, I feel like me, James, and Andrew were all walking on eggshells with her, even when she wasn't around.
So, okay. So you're like, when you start, everything seems okay, but as you get to know Amber, you start to have more anxiety and...
Yeah.
So is she going off a lot? Like, are there outbursts that are frequent?
Usually she would, like, go off on him when they would leave for, like, doctor's appointments. She'd come back and something would happen, and they would, like, argue in front of me or go upstairs. And like I said, like, it was more of Amber, like, just getting mad, and he would just sit there and be like, okay, like, stop, I don't know why you're acting like this. But yeah, it would happen quite often. Like, I could hear her from upstairs in her room, like, yelling at him, and I would be downstairs.
And what about this assertion that her very enthusiastic fans state that Andrew provokes her?
I honestly, like, I never saw it, and I was there a lot. So when they would fight, 90% of the time I was there. I don't know, like, about the weekends and stuff. But when I would hear them argue, even when they were upstairs, I only heard her. But when she was around me, Andrew, he wouldn't really say anything. Like, she would get mad, she'd yell at him, and he'd be like, okay, like, I get it, I'm sorry. Or he just wouldn't say anything, or he would just tell her, like, quit acting like this. Like, you're being ridiculous. And that's, like, the most he would do when it comes to, like, provoking her, is just telling her, like, she's getting out of control or taking things.
Was he raising his voice too, or was he usually generally calm?
He was generally calm. Like, there would be times where she'd be going at him, like, and I would feel bad for him, and he wouldn't, like, yell at her, but he'd be like, kind of raise his voice just to, like, put out there, like, I'm, like, upset, like, stop.
Okay.
If that makes sense. I don't really know how to
explain it. So she doesn't spend a lot of time with him. So when you first start, things seem okay. When did she start, like, when was the first time you started seeing this behavior?
Well, when I first started, Andrew told me, like, she just needed rest because she was going through, like, the postpartum stuff. So at first I was like, all right, it's normal. Like, she's just tired. She's going through it. Like, but then as it progressed, like, it never changed. Like, she never came and saw James, and when she would, it was, like, a short amount of time. So it was, like, I noticed it pretty soon because I didn't think, like, for that amount of time, you would just sit there and, like, choose not to spend time with your child. So it was, like, it was pretty early when I started picking up on it.
Pretty early?
Mm-hmm.
And so you were saying that he was stating that she had postpartum depression?
Yeah, and she would tell me too, and she was like, that's the main reason, like, why all this is happening. She's like, I feel like he's going to get older and hate me and be like, why did you spend all this time with me when I was little? And in my head, I'm like, probably, but, like, I feel like she knew. She, like, could have done more, but she didn't want to.
She didn't want to?
That, in my opinion.
In your opinion? Okay.
Yeah.
And we should note these are all your opinions and things that you've heard. Obviously, we have not spoken directly with Amber. She has publicly talked about postpartum, and I did reach out to Andrew, who said that there was some talk about it, but he didn't think that there had ever been a formal diagnosis of it.
Right.
So, and wasn't treated for it.
Mm-hmm.
So she's in bed all day, or?
Well, I don't really know what she was doing. I know she was in her room when when she wasn't around, she was in her room or at a doctor's appointment. And I never really went in her room. If, like, the door was open, I'd see her. It'd be, like, 3 in the afternoon and she'd be asleep, or she'd just be sitting up in bed, like, on her phone or watching TV. But most of the time the door was closed, so I don't really know, like, what all she would do during the day, but I know she was in her room.
So did that aspect of it make you feel uncomfortable, that she was not involved, or were you compassionate to what you felt she was going through?
At first I was, and then it kind of started to upset me because I'm like, this is your child, and you're just, like, you're in your room. Like, if I had a kid, and I know how much I love James myself, like, I wouldn't be able to just do that. So yeah, it kind of frustrated me because it's like, you have a kid and you say you're going through all this stuff, but wouldn't you want, like, your kid to, like, know who you are? Because if you're not around him that much when he's 5 months old, as he's growing up, like, he's not going to pick up on, like, you're his mom if you're not there.
Sure. Was he, like, did he have a bond with her that you could tell, or was it?
I don't think so. Like, when she was around, like, I mean, James loves people. Like, he's the sweetest little boy ever. So, like, when she was around, like, he would interact with her, but I don't think he, like, had that connection, because there would be times, like Amber's mom would come over and, like, to film and stuff, and he would, like, get upset and cry because he didn't know who she was. And Amber would, like, try and hold him and calm him down, and he would, like, keep crying, and then she would hand him to me, and he would be fine.
Aww.
Yeah.
So the longer that you get there, does the behavior seem to escalate? Does it stay the same? Does she seem to be getting worse? Or what do you...
I feel like the longer I was watching James for, the more comfortable she got around me to be able to, like, show her true colors.
Sure.
So, like, the longer I was there, like, the more, like, I would see, like, from her, like, her anger issues come out and stuff like that.
And did you ever, obviously the arrest was this past July, and it involved a physical altercation. Did you witness any physical fighting between the two of them?
There was one time I would travel with them for like the trips when they would film, and when they did the reunion in New York, I went. And the last day we were there, we had missed our flight, and we were in an Uber, and like Andrew and Amber were like getting into a disagreement about like hotels. Like Andrew wanted to like get a hotel to stay in the night because we had missed our flight, and she wanted to wait for like management or someone to do it so it would be free. I don't really know the exact reason, but we were in an Uber for like an hour waiting for Amber to like confirm stuff with her manager. And so like James's pussy was crying. It was late. Like they were kind of bickering back and forth. And like I don't remember what exactly blew it up, but I remember like she was like in the backseat behind him, like hitting him, like choking him, like telling him like I'm the reason like you're here right now. Like who bought that shirt you're wearing? And then it like was stressing her out because her postpartum or whatever. James was screaming so much. She was like, like this is the reason people want to kill their babies. Like I just can't do this. And we were both just like, and Andrew told her like that is the most disgusting thing you could ever say. And she's like, how can you say that? Like I have postpartum. That's what comes with it. And he's like, yeah, but you don't say that. And I was just kind of like shocked. I was like.
That must have felt jarring.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know what to do. I was just sitting there, like, because I had never, like, I had heard them argue before, but I had never seen her, like, get out of hand like that.
Was it, like, a different Amber during that?
A completely different Amber. Like, she's always, like, she'll, like, snap and get mad at little things and, like, argue. And, like, I hear them argue, but I've never, like, seen her, like, in person, like, go full on, like that.
That must have been scary.
Yeah, I was.
Oh. You what? You were scared? You said you were scared? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, hold on. Can you hear me? Sorry, guys. I'm going to call her right back. All right. Sorry about that. So you must have been scared?
Yeah, I was just anxious. I was scared. Like, I didn't think she was going to, like, act like that over a hotel reservation.
How did she calm down after that? Or, like, how did she keeps... One second, guys. Sorry.
Goodness.
I know. So, she froze again. How did you, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. How did she calm down after all of that? Or how did things die down after that, making that very, this is why babies, or people kill their babies. Like, how did that situation de-escalate?
So we were still in the Uber, and, like, Andrew told me, like, that's not something you should say, and then she got mad at him for telling her that, and eventually, like, we got the hotel situation figured out, we got out of the car, and Andrew, like, went one way with James, and, like, I went the other way with Amber, and she was, like, talking to me about him, about, like, I can't believe him, like, that is annoying, like, I don't know why he wouldn't let me just do what I wanted to do at the hotel, and, like, she kind of, like, vented to me, and then, like, once we got in there, like, she was fine.
That must have been, like, wild for her to go from that to just, like, nothing happened.
Right. And I, like, just kind of let her talk. I wasn't allowed to say anything, so I didn't want her to get mad at me, so I just said, yeah. Okay.
So what month did that happen in?
I think November.
So in a month. So, the first month. Mm-hmm. Wow. Welcome to your employer.
Right. Because it was right before Thanksgiving, so, yeah.
Were you ever like, I need to quit?
Yeah, there were a couple times where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore, but I didn't want to quit for the sake of James. Because she would just, like, take things out on him, like, Andrew all the time, and I was like, I don't, like, it's toxic being here. Like, I don't want to, like, be working and, like, hear them fighting upstairs. Yeah. And there was a time when she, like, went off and, like, screamed at me, like, the way I've heard her scream at Andrew. And I was just like, I'm not doing this anymore. But I wanted to stay there for James.
Did she ever get, like, angry with James?
I never saw her get angry with James because she wasn't around him that much. So I don't know if she did, like, when I wasn't there.
Okay.
But she would do it to me and to Andrew. She only did it to me once or twice, but...
Oh, she keeps freezing. Sorry.
It's fine.
All right. So, what you had mentioned when we spoke earlier today, that your feelings about her were that she can be manipulative.
Yeah.
Why? What do you mean? Like, tell me an example of why you feel that way.
Okay, so there would be times when, like, Andrew wouldn't do... There were, like, honestly so many things. I can't remember a specific time. But I know she would, like, she would get mad at Andrew. And he would do nothing wrong. And she would, like, flip it around and just, like, the littlest things make him seem like he was such a bad guy. Like, this is why they're fighting, because of this. Like, actually... I think someone covered it about how, like, she got mad or he got upset about, like, an Uber driver getting her number for, like, being a chef or something. And Andrew was, like, upset. He was like, I don't know why, like, you're giving a guy your number. Like, you just met him. Like, you don't know, like, if you really, like, I don't remember what the whole issue was. And then she turned it around on him instead of being like, you're right. Like, I know, like, I get how you're feeling. She was like, are you kidding me? Like, you're insecure. You're a terrible man. And she, like, came to me and she was telling me, she's like, don't ever let a man control you like that. And no, you give your number out. Like, he shouldn't be like this. Like, telling me these things about him. And I'm like, it's really not that big of a deal. Like, if he doesn't want you giving your number out to random, like, guys, like, just talk about it and come to an agreement. Don't, like, flip it around and make him seem like a bad person for being upset about that.
Was it, like, a flirty, here's your number?
I wasn't there. It was in an Uber about, like, they were coming home from somewhere. And I just remember, like, she was like, he's upset because I gave a guy my number. And he shouldn't be like that. Like, it's just a number. Like, don't ever let a man control you like that. And I was, like, in my head, like, I never came out and, like, tried to, like, be like, well, look at it this way. Because I didn't want her to get mad at me because she doesn't look at it this way very well. She's right or it's in the world. So, like, I wanted to tell her, like, just there's a way to go about things without being aggressive. Like, sit down and talk about it, say how he feels, and then okay. But it was never like that.
So it was like, well, he's controlling me because I can't give this guy a phone number.
Right, and she was like trying to make him look bad to me and telling me don't let her ever like be with a man like that because he's upset about the phone number situation. Wow. And like that was, in my opinion, manipulative because like why are you trying to make him look like a bad guy when he did nothing wrong?
Oh, totally. Completely. I get that. So when everything, you had mentioned also that there were some odd requests that she had given to you, that made you uncomfortable. There was a time where she had actually asked you if you could get her drugs.
Yeah. She came to me and she asked if I knew anyone who could get her like marijuana or pain pills, and I like it was awkward. I was like, you pay me to watch your kid, like why are you asking me that? So I just kind of like shut it down. I was like, yeah, I'll see, like I don't really know anyone, just so like could get like that conversation out of the way. She asked a couple times if I knew anyone or if I could.
Okay, sorry about that. So she makes these requests to you, like, do you know someone that can get weed? Do you know someone that can get pills? And she says that she can't get them because of her previous history. Yeah, she was like, legally the doctors can't prescribe them to me because of like my past that I have with this stuff, so I can't get it, but I need it. Like, she's like, it helps with my like pain and all this stuff. She's like, so if there's any way like you can find someone or know anyone to get it from, or you can get it from me, like just let me know. And did you know that during this time she was in the media representing that she was sober?
No, I really hadn't like tried to keep up with all that stuff. I was like, I'm just like your nanny, like I don't really care about your personal life, so I wasn't like trying to keep up with that. I knew she had told me like she had been sober, and she explained it to me as she just needed it for like pain problems.
So like justifying the use for pain?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you ever witness her using?
No, I mean, there were times, like, I could tell she was smoking. She would tell me she was gonna go smoke, and, like, I could smell it. I didn't see her, like, do anything other than that. I never saw it, but, like, could smell it. And there was time, like, in New York, when I was with them, like, I had yoga and I had a headache, and she came in my room, and she asked me, she's like, so what's your experience with drugs? And I was like, I don't know, like, I don't do that. And she's like, well, if you were going to say, like, you had done stuff like that before, like, I was going to give you something for, like, your headache, and I forget what it was. But I know it was, like, a prescription medication that I, like, didn't want to take. And I was like, no, it's fine. She was like, yeah, you're watching James anyway, so since you don't have experience with it, I'm not going to give it to you.
Yeah, so Andrew has said on Instagram that she really preferred like hydrocodone, which is like a Vicodin. So maybe she was.
I'm pretty sure that was what she offered, but I don't completely remember.
And you declined, obviously.
Yeah.
Good for you. Way not to break the law and put James at risk, because that.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So when you were were you there on the 4th of July or no?
I was not. I usually didn't work on the holidays. They let me, like, have my time to hang out with friends and family.
Good. Well, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
So after everything happens, when did you finally see James and Andrew? Like, was it the next day or?
It was either the next day or the day after. He told me, he was like, I've just been, like, super stressed and upset, like, and when I got there, like, I could just tell, like, there was a completely different, like, person that I had known before. Like, even James was kind of off. Like, they both just seemed sad and, like, out of it. Like, Andrew wasn't really eating. Like, he was definitely, like, upset about the whole situation.
Like, physically and emotionally and...
Yeah, and he never, like, even after that, he never talked bad about Amber. He just said, like, I hope she gets help. Like, it just sucks that she, like, can, like, do this, like, to her son and the person that she says she loves. Like, I don't want her to go to jail. I just want her to get help, and I'm just, like, upset she, like, destroyed a family. So he was never, like, negative towards her either.
Okay. And what was it like so that it's obviously he's sad, he's not eating. What was work for you like after that? Like, did you have any contact with her after that, or was that...
I had no contact with her. Like, she has my number, and we had, like, texted before while I was, like, working with her.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, after that happened, she hadn't reached out to me. She still hasn't reached out to me. She hasn't said anything to me. Nothing really at all.
Have you reached out to her?
No.
No. Okay. So after that happened, were you, like, surprised, or were you like, oh?
After, like, what happened on 4th of July?
Yeah.
I kind of saw, like, something coming, because I could tell, like, the way she acted and how she's, like, was, like, every day I was there. I knew, like, and plus with her history, I had a feeling she was going to blow up before or again, especially after that whole Uber incident. And hearing them argue all the time, I knew it was probably, like, worse than what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of had a feeling, like, something would happen. I didn't know, like, exactly what, but I had a feeling she was, like
something was gonna burst.
Yeah.
Like, it was building
she
up.
She had burst so many times. I was like, there's just gonna be one that's, like, over the top. Like, they're all already, like, ridiculous, but I knew, like, it was just gonna get worse because it wasn't getting better.
And did she ever lash out at you?
There was one time she was upset because I went to California with them for, like, a business thing, and I had posted, like, a picture on my Instagram story. And it was of me, like, James wasn't in it, like, none of them were in it, but the stroller was in it. And she, like, lost her mind. And she, like, thought I had been posting a whole bunch of stuff with James, and, like, I hadn't been. And so she, like, bursted in the room one day, and, like, James was asleep on my lap, and she, like, woke him up, and she was, like, screaming at me, like, kind of getting in my face, telling me, like, she's gonna fire me and get lawyers involved and contact care.com, and, like, telling me that I need to leave if I, like, don't get my, like, stuff together, just all this, like, stuff, like, going off on me, and I started crying, because, like, it scared me. Like, I never had anyone yell at me before like that over something so small, and I was trying to explain myself. I was like, Amber, like, I haven't, like, James has not been in anything. She was, like, calling me a liar and all this stuff, and...
You're still, like, emotional about that.
Yeah, because it, like, upset me. Like, I liked her as a person. And then I saw, like, how she was with Andrew, and then, like, with me, I was like, all right.
So after the arrest, you don't see her again. Andrew's very upset. Does she come to the house? Do you see her ever? Like, does she try to make contact at any point?
She had came one day when I was there. Her and her mom. Her mom was like beating on the door, and it was when CPS I think was there talking to Andrew, and they like made her like stay outside. They wouldn't let her come in, and I don't remember what their reasoning was for coming. I think it was to like get clothes or something, and like the cops were there just to like mediate everything. And Amber like asked if she could see James, and because this was before like they decided on anything, and the cop said it was fine as long as it was okay with Andrew. And I would have to bring him out there. And Andrew was like, no, I'm not really comfortable with it. So the cops made her leave.
Okay. And after everything happens and she goes to court and she signs the plea agreement, were you supposed to testify if they did go to court, or would you have not?
I had talked to Andrew's attorneys, and they took my information down, and they said it was a possibility. And I think if she wouldn't have took that plea agreement, I would have.
You would have, okay. And after she leaves and it's just James, and after a few like months, how is James during all of this?
He honestly seemed like such a happier baby. Like he used to fuss a lot at first, and like after that happened, like he would really get upset. Like he just grew into like this happy, like playful little boy. And he just seemed like a brighter person. And like same with Andrew, like none of us were walking on eggshells anymore. Like everyone just seemed happier. I was happier. Like I would go there and have anxiety, and then after she left, like I was like excited to go watch.
So your workplace environment improved?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're basically taking care of this kid for 12 hours a day. She's not really doing much of anything with him. Mm-hmm. So then what does it feel like when you find out after all of this happens that she's going to have access to James now and have visitation with him?
Honestly, it like made me think a lot about like how their visitation goes. Because like how do you go from 5 months old to a year old, like do that? So it made me realize or like think, is he like okay over there? And I know Andrew had the same concerns, like we talked about it.
And so you worked there until I think I verified with Andrew that you were there, like you did some one-off work in December, but it's been a couple months since you were there full time.
Yeah.
And you said that they had to let you go?
Yeah, he told me that for now he was just gonna watch James by himself. He couldn't afford it. I guess Amber had like drained their account together and like it was in the negatives. So he said he needed to just take a break till he got back on his feet. But whenever like he was ready, he would have me come back.
So it must have been hard. You were with him,
yeah.
James, 12 hours a day, 4 to 5 days a week, and then you are not with him anymore. You must miss him.
I do. Like there were like 2 or 3 days that I asked Andrew if I could just come like get James and just hang out with him, and I did that like once or twice. Just because like I felt like he was my own child. Like Andrew even told me, and like other people even told me, like James like has that connection with me and looks up to me as a mom more than he ever did with Amber.
Heartbreaking. That's got to be a hard environment for you to work in if this is all as it's described as you describe it. Have you had any sort of like, have you struggled at all with anything that you've witnessed? Like, obviously that's not a healthy work environment, right?
Right.
Do you feel like it was like a traumatic experience to be in that type of environment?
I mean, there were days like I would like get super upset and I just like want to leave. My anxiety to get bad. Like I want to cry just because like I felt bad for James, and like I know if I'm getting upset, like he obviously is getting upset, and I would like talk to my parents about it all the time. Like I want to quit, but like I don't want to like lose this job. Like it's a good job, and like I'm gonna miss James, and I care about him and Andrew. And like I would like talk to my parents for like an hour about like what the best decision would be, because it was like hard on me seeing like how James is being like pretty much neglected by his mom, and like I'm here in the background like listening to all of it,
to the chaos.
Yeah,
that's a lot. And you were only 20, right, when you started working there?
Yeah,
that's a lot to take on at 20 years old. And my goodness,
I felt like I was like a part of the family and I was dealing with it too.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Yes, I definitely understand how that would happen. So you said that James was like a lot happier. The house was a lot happier. But then you said that Andrew, even though Amber wasn't spending time with James, Andrew would when you were around.
Yeah.
And he was involved.
Yeah, there would be times like he wouldn't be busy for like an hour. So he would come downstairs and like hang out with James and I, or he'd be like, you can leave early, and like he'd spend time with James. Or like he would take James to go do something. He'd be like, I'm gonna go like to the store, I'm gonna take James with me, like if you wanna just stay here till I get back. And Amber would like get mad at him, and I could like hear her like when he would go back upstairs, she'd be like, why are we paying her? Like, why do you have a nanny if you're gonna hang out with James and like we don't need her? And he was like, well, I mean, I'm busy a lot during the day, so when I have time where I'm not, like, I'm going to go hang out with James. Like, I miss him as my child. So if I have downtime, I'm going to be with him even if she's here, because I know in an hour, 2 hours, or 30 minutes, I'm going to be busy, and so I take the time when I can.
So she's, like, making Andrew feel bad for wanting to spend time with his son when he has, like, a lull in his day, even though you're there and he might have something planned in an hour.
Yeah. Basically. I'm not exactly sure why, but it would upset her.
Sure. You don't have to answer this, but there was a question from the chat and it says, did you get paid under the table and did you get paid overtime?
I didn't get paid overtime. It was strictly like what I made hourly, and it was like I would get paid every day through Venmo for the hours I worked.
So that if it's electronic, that's not under the table. That's all like you have to report it. There you go, guys. It was all legit. Okay. So you're now not working there, and you have noticed that there's been some stuff in the media, right? Of her claiming some stuff about a dog bite, and that Andrew is trying to withhold her from her, and that sort of painting what you felt was Andrew in a poor light.
Yeah.
What do you know about, like, do you think that's a fair, like, why would, I don't even know what to go with this question. Like, it's, given what you said.
Okay. So, like, with the whole, like, withholding, like, her from seeing James, I don't believe that at all. Because, like, when this first started happening, she would get, like, supervised visits, like, 3 days a week. And so I would be there, and she would, like, the CPS lady would come pick up James and then bring him back. And there were multiple times. She would say she's sick, and the visit would be canceled an hour before. It happened, like, 2 or 3 times in a row, or, like, here and there. Like, it happened a lot. And Andrew would get upset. He's like, this is your only time to see him. Like, why are you not coming to see him? Like,
so she was canceling visitations that were scheduled?
Yeah, because she was sick. And maybe she was, but, like, if you only get 3 days a week to see your child for a couple hours, like, if you have... Sorry, my sisters are talking.
That's okay.
If you have a cold, like, take time to see him. And you're like, what do you think moms do, like, full-time who do have custody of their kids that get sick? They still have to be a parent.
And you said she wasn't getting up in the middle of the night with him. That was Andrew's duty, right?
Yeah.
Or they would have someone overnight.
Sometimes, like, at first I would leave and someone would come to be there overnight, and that only lasted for, like, a little bit. So after that, like, she said she would get up in the middle of the night to take care of James, but I'm pretty sure it was Andrew. Like, he would tell me he would get up in the middle of the night. There were times she wouldn't want to get up, and she claimed it was all her in the middle of the night, but I don't believe that.
You don't believe that? Okay.
No.
So she sleeps all day, or when she's not, she's yelling, she's crabby, she's in her bedroom. What is she like when MTV shows up?
She is that, like, happiest, like, best mom in the world when MTV's there. Like, for James's birthday party, she was, like, so happy. She was, like, on the floor playing with him, like, catching him down the slide, and, like, she does not interact with him like that when they aren't there. Like, she will for a little bit. Like, don't get me wrong. There were times, like, she would, like, play with James, but it was rare. And, like, MTV would be there filming, and she'd have me go upstairs, and she'd bring him up to me, have me change his diaper and feed him, and bring him back down, and then go back upstairs. And then she'd continue to play with him on the camera and, like, have him around.
So she was like a MTV mom.
Yeah.
And she wasn't feeding him. She wasn't diapering him. She's not...
I saw her change his diaper once. I saw her, like, I would be feeding James, and she'd, like, take over maybe 2 or 3 times. in the whole year that I was there when she was still there, pretty much.
Wow. So you are doing everything. She's laying in bed doing God knows what, and when MTV shows up, you're saying she's like, I'm the best mom ever.
Yeah.
Was that frustrating for you?
It was so frustrating, especially, like, I would see stuff come out, like, articles about her saying, like, about how her, like, younger sibling had died of SIDS, and because that happened, like, she wants to be the one taking care of her kid. She wants to, like, make sure, like, she's there for everything. And, like, I saw her, like, come out with that, and in my head, I'm like, but you don't. Like, you say this, but you don't. It's like she was hiding the fact that, like, she didn't do anything. And it would frustrate me because I'm like, I don't care, like, if I'm on TV. I don't care, like, what people think of me. But, like, it would just make me so upset when she would take all this credit for watching him, and I would, like, in my heart, I'm like, I feel like I'm his mom. Like, I know I'm not. But, like, I feel like I'm raising him, and you're taking all this credit just to make yourself look good.
So she's saying all these things in the press about how he saved her and he's the best kid and she loves being a mom, and you're saying that doesn't match what you're experiencing in the home.
Right.
Okay.
And it wasn't all the time. Like, there were probably not even a handful of times that I saw her, like, interact with him, but most of the time she wasn't.
So you say he wouldn't withhold James from her. And then would he, like, this dog bite? She's making this big to-do about how he didn't disclose this to her. And you're saying you don't believe that.
I don't, because he reached out to me and said, like, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And I was like, how are you doing? And then he told me about the dog bite. And I'm sure he would say that to, like, Amber. He knows, like, she's going to see him eventually, like, when he comes back from California. Like, she's going to notice, like, something happened. I don't think he would just not tell her anything about it or withhold information, because it's not like she can't get her herself from, like, the hospital if that's where he went. And she's going to see him in person.
And from what I understand, it didn't require stitches. There was some bruising and kind of like on his nose. Did you see photos of it?
I didn't. He just told me that his sister's dog had, like, nipped at James and that he was at the emergency room with him throughout the holiday.
Okay. Well, it's good that he didn't get stitches, and that, but that's scary for a little baby boy.
Right.
So, you're not really buying all of these motions is basically what you're saying. Like, you feel like she's doing this to sort of smear Andrew.
Yeah, because she's upset that she's getting all the backlash when, I mean, that's how it should be. He didn't do anything wrong.
And so you're saying in clarity, he didn't provoke her. He's a very good father. Because he's now taking care, I mean, you're not helping, so he's there.
He's all by himself. Like, the cooking, the cleaning, everything. Like, he doesn't have anyone doing the house anymore. Like, he's doing it all.
So he's doing everything. He's a good father. You're saying he's a nice guy, not this. That was the other thing, is a lot of people say, well, his the argument is that his history, he's got this background of he's an addict and he's an alcoholic. Did you see him using? Did you see him drinking? Did you see him?
He was honestly one of the nicest people I've ever came across in my life. Like, he's so down to earth. He's so nice. I never had any issues with him. He was always, like, cracking jokes. Never saw him, like, look like he's under the influence. I never saw him drink. I never saw him do anything like that. I mean, I wouldn't say Amber was an alcoholic or anything like that, because I never saw her, like, have a drinking problem, but, like, I've seen her, like, on Memorial Day, he, like, bought a whole bunch of wine coolers for her. Like, I've only seen her drink, and I'm not saying, like, she was drunk or anything like that, but I never saw him do anything like that. It was only her.
So she was the only one that's drinking, not him.
Yeah, I never had seen him, like, even have a drink in his hand. I think we went out to eat one time, and he ordered a beer, but, like, that's it.
Right. Well, I mean, he's a legal age.
Right.
It's legal for him to have a drink, right? That's because that was one of the allegations, was that he was driving drunk, right?
I don't believe that.
You don't believe that either. Okay. Were you disappointed with the plea agreement, or what did you think about all of that after everything happened?
I thought it was, like, kind of ridiculous, because a lot of the stuff that had happened, I feel like didn't get shared, and I feel like if it did, then it would have been a little bit harsher. And I feel like if you're gonna come after someone with a machete and like with all the background of her like not really being a parent, I don't think she really has that much of a right to still have like all this custody and stuff. Because if you're not going to take care of your kid when you have your kid up until like something like this happens, then why now?
Right. Other than trying to repair her image in the press. Sure.
Right. I feel like that's what she's doing. I feel like, honestly, I feel like, and I could be completely wrong.
Right. These are your opinions, which you're entitled to have. Yes.
And I feel like she's doing, like, trying to get custody and, like, all these visits and stuff with Andrew to make herself look better as, like, a good parent. Because I feel like all this coming out is, like...
Or, like, her storyline, right, from TV.
Right.
And were you upset to hear that she's continuing on and, like, there's no... Because Andrew, from my understanding, has been frozen out. There was all this stuff in the media about him filming, and that's simply not the case. Like, he filmed one time, from my understanding, was never filmed again, will only appear in one episode, but they filmed her a lot, which begs the question, what sort of narrative are they going to be putting out here, and why is he, as the baby's father, not being included?
Right, and I don't think that's fair at all. Like, I feel like they're doing it for the drama, like, her side's more drama-filled and get more views, but I don't think it's fair. Like, you're going to do all this and go through all this stuff for a second time. Like, she did this with Gary. Like, she got in trouble with all that with him, and now she's doing it again. She's still on the show, filming as much as she is.
Yeah. And Gary's on, right? I mean...
Yeah, and he is, but Andrew isn't, like... I don't know.
He wasn't there from the beginning. He wasn't an OG, I guess, right?
Right.
So moving forward, I guess, what is like your biggest sort of takeaway you want people to know, or biggest like misconception you really just want people to understand or clear up that has come out in this entire scenario?
Right. So I don't want to like completely talk bad about Amber, but it just being the one like there for James and like being there like with Andrew and seeing how he is, like I just hope people realize like Andrew really hasn't done anything. Like, obviously no one's perfect.
Right.
But my opinion from what I saw, from where I stand, like, I feel like he really is a good guy. And he hasn't done anything to deserve all, like, the backlash she's getting. And Amber, on the other hand, she didn't raise James. She would take pictures I would send her and post them on Instagram acting like she was there with him. Like, seeing how she would blow up on everyone and take things out of, like, hand, it just makes me frustrated when people say, like, oh, it's just mental illness, like, you can get through this. Like, she has problems that she needs to get help for. And everyone supporting her, acting like nothing's wrong, just makes her...
enables the behavior.
Yeah. And it just frustrates me.
It always concerns me that she can turn it on and be this perfect person with the cameras, because you're not the only person that said this. Multiple people have said this, which always makes me beg. I'm not a mental health professional, but that there's almost some calculation there that I need to be a certain way now, meaning I can control it if I want to.
Yeah, she can. Like, there's a switch in her head or something, because if you can be perfectly fine and a happy person 1 minute when you know people are watching you, but not when no one's around, like, you know what you're doing.
Right. Absolutely. Well, I'm glad that you reached out to me, and thank you so much for sharing your story. I'm happy to hear that you are not working for them anymore, and you're now working, you said, as a server?
Yeah.
Okay. And missing James all the time.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well, hopefully you can see him soon. I'm sure Andrew would let you babysit anytime.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate you so much. And I'm just going to say, as a caveat, this is Brianna's point of view. Obviously, and Amber is not here to share her point of view or to say whether or not these things are true or false. So please take all of this with a grain of salt. And don't use anything that she is sharing with us as a means to attack or bully Amber. All of this is done in a way to share and provide information on public stories as it relates to Amber, and the new season of Teen Mom OG is coming out, and making sure people understand how things look, right? Amber's pretty clear about her feelings about me. She will never come on this channel. So, but we on Without a Crystal Ball always wish her the best and hope she is doing what she needs to be, taking care of herself. Although I'll be doing a stream shortly because something happened in court this week and it's going to probably make people a little bit not surprised. So thank you, Brianna, so much for joining us. Thank you everyone in chat for how kind you've been. Chat replay will be turned off. So if you watch again on an upload replay, just know that you will not see the chat in there. I'm turning it off. So thank you again so much for joining me. Thank you guys for being here. Before you go out, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, it's over here. And also, if you have not followed me on Instagram, you guys, I am so close to 10,000 followers and I can do the swipe up. So please, please, please follow me on Instagram at Without a Crystal Ball. All right, you guys, thank you so much. And thank you, Brianna, for joining me.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
You did.